Oh God. I'm not even gonna. I think a lot of my perspectives on masculinity was shaped by the values that my father has, his strength, his athleticism, using his strengths to stand up for people who needed help, to be there for supporting the little guy, for countering bullies. Being a man is being strong and a source of support for those who need it. He was born in 1919, the year women got the vote in this country. He had me when he was in his early 50s, so he was very much of a time that wasn't as aware and evolved, perhaps, as I like to think we're becoming now. So, the philosophical foundation he gave me on being humanist was very much there. But he was not a feminist, and it wouldn't have been a word that he thought of engaging with. My perspective on so many things, on looking at my wife as a partner in everything I do, which was a dynamic that wasn't there in my parents' relationship, is one of those things that I very much diverge from my father. A number of years ago, I was wearing a beautiful cable knit turtleneck that my wife had got me, and had a blazer over it, and I was feeling like I was dressed pretty cool. And a random bunch of guys who didn't recognize me just sort of walked into the hotel and said, "Hey, turtleneck boy." And I was like, "Oh, I like this look." And we always have moments where we wonder if we're fitting some idealized or normative model that is ridiculous, but questioning one's behavior and one's choices is human. Oh God. As a teenager, I was too skinny. I had terrible skin. I had big, thick glasses. I had a nose that didn't fit my face. I tried to wear pink flamingo ties and bright green suspenders, ironically, but it was, looking back, just sort of sad. I went through puberty in an all-boys school in Montreal for 4 years, and then when the girls finally arrived in grade 11 at that school, I had I had no game. I had no ability to engage with girls. It was a very difficult experience, and I was hyper self-conscious about who I was, and deeply insecure about everything everything you are and how people look at you. I think that's part of what being a teenager is. God, so many worries as a dad for all my kids, including those years that are still far enough away where they're going to get driver's licenses. I really want to make sure that my sons are raised from now with an understanding and awareness of the power dynamics that surround them and surround their sister, and are taught and learned to be allies from the very beginning. What kids are exposed to today on the internet means we have to be a lot more active in the conversations, the difficult conversations that I think need to be as explicit with our kids today as explicit as they'll see tomorrow on the internet. A lot of well-meaning folks are saying, "Oh my gosh, I have to change everything about me. I have to give away all sorts of power." It's not about losing power. It's about sharing it and using it for productive, positive outcomes, whether it's in a business or in politics or in society in general. There's a mindset shift that will benefit us all when women don't feel worried that they're going to be in vulnerable positions. I think it's important that people be honest to who they are. I am someone who shares my emotions fairly readily. It's how I'm programmed. If we're sitting around watching a movie and there's a moment of particular poignancy, I can feel even in the dark of the living room, the family is going to turn towards me to see if my eyes are welling up. And I said, well, the fact that you're looking towards me means that you're feeling your own eyes welling up. So it's one of those things where I have always been someone who, reacts strongly to emotional stimuli, and that means I've cried in public a number of times, more than perhaps the stoic, manly man should in the old way of looking at things, but it's who I am. And if I can be a trigger for conversations or an enabler for other people to be, okay, it's okay to shed a few tears when something really affects you emotionally, well, then that's part of what my role and my responsibility can be.